Well, hello there, Retro PC Durham, it's Chris here. I'm kind of excited to share this with you because I got myself a birthday present, I guess you could call it. This video will be going live on my actual birthday. And I picked up this system a while ago, and it's one of those situations where you really want to get into it, but you know it's going to be a big deal, so you kind of avoid it. Anyways, I'm finally ready, I think, emotionally to do this, and yeah, so let's just get right to it. I'm gonna put what I got on the table. It's gonna take a minute, so let's roll. This is an Aptiva S series, Aptiva Stealth series, machine type 2142. It's a Pentium 2 based machine, so like 95, 96, 97. This series of machines was sold by IBM, and I got a job working at a computer store around this time period. And this was one of the computers that was on display, and I spent tons of time when I wasn't, trying to sell computers and stuff to people coming into the store. I would play games like X-Wing versus TIE Fighter and Need for Speed SC, Need for Speed 2 Special Edition on one of these machines. And it's actually, when I think about like nostalgia, why I make videos and why so many YouTubers do this type of nostalgia retro computing stuff, is capturing that background, like what you did back then. So I've had lots of ThinkPads over the years, which is my main brand when it comes to computers. And I've had almost every single one of the ThinkPads that I always wanted to have, right? I've had an X21, I've had a 701C, I've had a 600. Most of those I had when they were still kind of new. I've had a professional series ThinkPad. I have a Yoga right now, an X1 or an L13 Yoga. So I've had all these different types of ThinkPads that I really liked, all these different form factors and designs that really appealed to me. But when it comes to desktop computers, there's only ever been one. There's only ever been one desktop computer that I looked at and said, man, I wish I had one of those. And it's this one right here. It's the Stealth. And it's an amazing design. I think this was one of those computers that back in the day won tons of art and design awards. And it was because of not just the multimedia monitor. That wasn't something that was too uncommon during this time period, but the fact that you had this split system design where you've got this tray that sat underneath the monitor that had your media connections on it, and both the monitor, between the monitor and this, you've got a whole bunch of additional ports, right? Like keyboard and mouse ports, audio ports, a USB ports, there's even on the side of the monitor. So you could plug everything into here, and then the tower you could put under your desk and it would be completely out of the way. So if you had one of those desks from back in those days where it had the door that shut that you put your computer tower into, you'd always have to open it to get access to the optical drive and turn on the power button and do all that stuff. With this machine, you didn't need to do that. It was just fantastic, the design. Anyways, I picked this up from somebody a while back, and it's not in great condition, as you can see, especially the tower. It needs quite a bit of work, and but I got it in a package of things, and I kind of already made back the money I got buying all the stuff that he sold me. So this is like a bonus machine for me to be able to work on, and it's actually the whole reason I wanted to buy it in the first place. So what I thought I might do now is maybe get everything plugged in and let's do a boot test to see if it actually even starts up. And then I'm going to go over some of the things that need to be fixed on it. Some of them are more obvious than others, obviously. So let's get that done now. Okay, so we've plugged everything in. there's a lot of like umbilical cords and stuff to connect all this stuff together. It's not like if you were to do this today, you could have like this type of setup. You just need to get like a Thunderbolt dock, and then you could literally have like one plug going from your desktop into the Thunderbolt dock, and then plug your monitor and everything into that dock, and you're done. So, but imagine this is 25 years ago. So it's a little bit, different. It's all the original components except for the mouse. I don't have that Scroll Point 2, I think was the mouse that would have originally come with it. So I've just got a regular generic mouse for now. But everything's plugged in, and we're going to do a power on test now and see if it actually works. The power button is just over here. And we'll find out for the first time. I have not powered this on before, so I have no idea if this system even works. We seem to be getting a boot up. I'm not seeing... I'm not really seeing anything on the screen. Are you? It's hard to kind of see what's going on with the brightness and contrast are up all the way, and we're not really getting anything on the screen. So I wonder if there's something wrong with the video card. You know what? There's a I can kind of see like a scan disk going on. So looking from the top down, I can see here we do have 2 hard drives installed. So this originally wouldn't have come with 2 hard drives. I'm wondering if maybe the 3 and something gigabyte hard drive that we saw in there was the original, which would make sense, like somewhere under 6 gig. And then the 30 gig hard drive was added later, and he just decided to keep the original drive maybe as a backup, or maybe he just left everything on there and it's just set as the secondary drive. So I'll have to get into some forensics to see what's on these drives before I wipe them, because if there's the original image or anything like that. The other thing from a cleaning perspective, I see a little bit, kind of hard to see here, but what might be a little bit of oxidation on this connector here. So it might be worthwhile just to actually take this entire system apart and give it a good cleaning. To make sure that there's no corrosion or anything going on underneath any of the components. And we'll just look straight down on the board, because everything else in the case is kind of empty. There's no 5 1/4 or 3.5 inch bays installed, because that's all in the media tray. The power supply is a custom IBM job from Delta, which seems to be running fine. But if I'm going to take this whole machine apart, I'm going to look inside of it and make sure that there's no bad caps. Cursory view of the system board, none of the capacitors on here look like they're in bad shape. So again, processor, we've got our 3 memory DIMMs installed. It's 3 128 gig DIMMs, giving us 384 total. I'm not sure if this system will support 768, but we'll figure that out. From a installation perspective, there's room for 3 PCI adapters and 3 ISA cards. And what's interesting is, on this board, normally what you'll end up having with this era when you had the PCI and ISA is you'd have like one shared slot, right? So you could have 4 PCI, but it would eat up one of your ISAs. In this one, they're actually separated. So you could have your full 3 and 3 complement without having any overlap between the 2 of them. That's kind of cool. So cards that are installed, there's a Wi-Fi card that's installed in here. There's a graphics card that's installed in here. And if I can get this off, this is slotted. So oh, IBM and your slotted screws. Why? Now I know why. It's because it was probably cheaper, and at the plant they didn't use a slotted screwdriver. They would have used a wrench or something that was this size to install everything. So it was easy for them. So installed in here is a Radeon, what do we got here? A Radeon 7000, 64 megabytes DDR. and this is a PCI adapter. The reason why this is installed in the machine is actually because the onboard ATI 3D Rage Pro AGP video card, you'll notice it's an AGP card, but there's no AGP slot on the board. And originally, I think what he had done is he had upgraded that card to the total of 4 megabytes that you could have. But this slot here, the little clips to hold this SG RAM upgrade, broke. So he's only got 2 megabytes installed on the onboard video card. And here he's got a PCI card with 64 megabytes. So obviously this is a much bigger upgrade than what's on here. Back in the day, what I remember we did when we upgraded these systems in the stores was we would not bother with this upgrade here. We would just sell the customer a Voodoo adapter, a Voodoo card, and pass it through. And the 2 megabyte 2D graphics was fine for pretty much anything you wanted to do. And then you needed that 8 or 16 megabyte 3D graphics card that would do the rest of the work. So, you know, this Radeon 7000 might be okay for doing some of those 3D graphics. And the fact that it's a PCI card is kind of cool. Anyways, so that's where the graphics situation is sitting. Lastly, we have this card here, which we can take out. If I'm going to have to take the machine apart, I'm going to have to take this out anyway. So let's unplug everything from it and show off what this card actually is, which is kind of the whole heart of what separated this machine from the standard tower machines of the time. Now, I'm not sure if this would work in any other machine but an IBM, if there's like BIOS connections, but this Altera Flex card is the pass-through card for going to the media tray. So you plug it in, it's got its own power, and then you had your IDE controller plug in here, and then it would pass through with this very thick boy cable, which would plug into the card and then plug into the back of that media tray. And what you'd end up getting is that pass-through. There's another plug here which goes and does the CD audio connection, right? So you would get your CD audio connection from your CD-ROM drive, which will go down into the board here, and there's a crystal chip on the board. And I'm assuming there would be some way to pass through. I'm guessing this part right here, this cable here, is passing through my PS2 connections. So that plugged in here, and that goes through as well. Because on that media tray, you're gonna do a couple things here, right? You've got your floppy controller, or maybe that's a floppy controller. Floppy controller and optical drive. You've got a power button here, and then you've got PS2 and mouse ports here, all on that one umbilical cable. So it's kind of cool that you had all that stuff going through in 1996. Anyways, so that's what that guy does. It's even a little, I'm not sure what this button here, maybe this is a manual power on button that you've got here. I don't know a lot about this, so yeah, pretty cool part. And that's about it in terms of the system here. Otherwise, anything else that's unique here? There's a connector here for the subwoofer and audio connection that was kind of like custom to plug in the speakers and the subwoofer from the monitor and from the separate sub connection. And that's about it. So from a repairs perspective, quite a bit to do. We've got to fix the monitor brightness issue. Got to see maybe if we can try and fix this clip for the memory SG RAM. If we can't, it's okay, because we're going to be using the different video card that we have over here. But it'd be cool if we could just have it working. We have to see if we can get more memory installed. Check out our hard drives and reload and replace possibly. We need to check out our power supply. Big job here is fixing the case, because what's happened there is it's just little plastic snaps on here, and a lot of them are broken, right? So where, you know, like you can see this one's still okay. These ones, these four are still okay, but this one's broken, 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 this one's broken. So they're like almost all broken on both sides. And the guy had it held on with duct tape. And the real problem why it was doing that was because the panels were being pushed against because the feet are gone off the bottom. So I'm gonna have to figure out a new solution to put new feet on it. Try and figure out how to get these panels to install on and stay in place without having to have something taped, because the duct tape is really ugly. And that should be fixed as well. So yeah, that's going to be my kind of work on this machine for the next little while, to try and get it as restored as possible to its former glory. Hope you will enjoy watching those videos as I get that work done and recorded and get those made to hopefully get a finished product that we can show off on the channel here. As always, I hope you're staying safe and healthy, and we'll catch you in the next one.